Hi there, my name's Dave from TAC, and today we are going to use an FTP client to upload sets to your TAC FTP account that I'll have provided you with. So first thing we need is a freebie FTP package. It is actually built into the OS of the PC and also the Mac, but for this we'll use an bespoke FTP package because it's sort of simpler to use. Anyway, so first thing we need is to download the package. We're going to use one called FileZilla. So if you launch your web browser of choice and just go to www.google.com or co.uk is in my case, and within the search field if you type FileZilla and then put CNET after it, and the reason we want CNET at the end of it is so we get a secure place to download from and a trusted source, and CNET is exactly that. So click on the FileZilla CNET, should be the one right at the top. Wait for the page to pop up and it should look exactly like this. And over here it says download now, so you click on download and it should, after a couple of seconds, give you this pop-up window, and this is the installer, so you click save file. And up here on this version of Firefox it's telling me how long left before it finishes downloading. Obviously, depending upon the speed of broadband, depends on how quickly that will download. Right, mine's now finished, so I'll click on that bit and click on the top one. And I've got this annoying little Norton pop-up here telling me that it's clear. Well, yes, I know it's clear, that's why we went to that one. And you can close Firefox or your web browser of choice. Okay, so now we're going to run, and this will just step you through how to install it. Just click on yes. It should look exactly as this. If it doesn't look like this, you've downloaded the wrong one, so please don't install it because you never know what you're putting on. But this should be exactly as it is. This current version is 3.9.03. Simply agree to the license, and I'm installing it for anyone who uses this computer. It's only me anyway. And I'm also going to click on desktop icon there, so it puts a shortcut, and that should put it just there under the Skypey thingy. Okay, typical, the batteries of my mouse have just failed, so click on next and then next again and then install. While that's doing that, see if I can wake up my mouse. Once the install is finished, just click finish. Right then, we're back after a brief pause. I've just put some new batteries in my mouse, so that now works. You should have on your desktop, assuming you tick the little box at the end of the installer, a FileZilla shortcut. And if you double click that, you should get a window that looks very much like this. Might be a bit scary if you're not used to these sort of level of programs, but seriously, this is very, very easy, so don't worry about it. Where I'm circling here with a mouse, this is your local machine, i.e. this is your computer, and you can see the local site there is c:/users/David, which is me. Over here on the right will be the FTP server at the TAC end, i.e. my end. Obviously it's not populated because we're not connected. This field at the top here where I'm circling, this is the log file. You can sort of disable that via these little toggle switches here which turn things on and off. Is it that one? That's the one. Oops. But leave it on for the moment. Once you get braver, I'm sure you'll switch it off. So that's the log file window, and at the bottom is the transfer window. And the transfer window simply shows your current transfers transferring to TAC. That's queued up, and you've also got here failed transfers and successful transfers. Hopefully that will always be empty. Now, the first thing we want to do is go to the edit and the settings section up here, and on these list of options there's all other things you can play with here. But one thing I would suggest you do is uncheck the box there that says do not save passwords. In other words, we want it to save your passwords because well, there's only going to be you using it, and it's only an FTP account, so it just saves you having to type the password in every time you try and connect. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is go to the site manager, and at the moment you see we've got no sites available. So if we click on the site manager, it brings up this window, and this is where we're going to add our new site. So over here, if we click on new site, and there type TAC or whatever you want to call it, and over here in the host is the actual address. Now you should have the address which I sent you, but it is tacnet3.dns2go.com. That is the address. Leave the protocol as is, encryption as is, and the logon type, rather than anonymous, we're going to change it to normal, and in the user field you put in the username that I've provided you in your email. In this case mine is TAC FTP demo. Excuse me. And the password, you'll also have the password which I've provided with you via email. You type that in there. Once you've done that, simply type OK. Nothing happens, obviously, because we haven't connected to anything. But if you now click on your site manager, you can see we called ours TAC, so we've got one there listed called TAC. Bear in mind, you might use this FTP package for transferring to any other place that uses FTP. So you could have more than one client here. This is not just a one client package. So if you select now TAC, you see, well, I'm pointing at the screen here, not that you can see that. You can see in our log file here, it's telling you it's resolving the address, it's connecting, there's a username, password, other stuff utterly irrelevant to you. But over here, importantly, you can see you're connected. You've got a folder called processed and a readme TAC content guidelines. This one's version 1.2. Can you please download that one and have a read of it, just so you make sure you're up to date with all your requirement for sending content to TAC. Now let's do some nice straightforward things, and let's transfer some files. Remember I said this window here is your local computer. Now you've probably a little bit worried about how you navigate here. This folder here has got two little dots. What that means is go back a directory. So at the moment I'm in C:\users /David /. If I double click that, that takes me to the users. If I double click it again, it takes me to the root. If I double click it again, it takes me to the devices on my machine. So what I want to do is navigate to where my pictures are in my computer. Well, I know they're in the C drive. I don't know where they are on your computer, so you're on your own trying to find this. But I'm sure if you go to your users directory, mine's obviously David, and if I go down to my pictures, I've got a folder called pictures, and in my pictures I've created a folder called TAC sets. And here you go. Here's all my lovely TAC sets ready to upload. I believe that when you quit FileZilla, it'll automatically bring you back to that window, so you shouldn't have to change it. But it is just a simple case of navigating around your computer to find wherever you put your pictures. Now, if I want to upload a set of pictures, I click on that one, I drag it over to this screen, and I let go. And magic happens, and everything starts to transfer. You can see up here, this log file window is going a bit mental. As it's, if you slowed that down and read it, you see it's transferring everything, and that has now finished. And lo and behold, over here on the FTP server, you can see my folder home from the office is finished. There you go, there's the images. If I double click there, you'll see the file names are identical on the left and the right. That means you've transferred it from your computer this side to the TAC FTP server this side. That is as simple as that. Now it even gets better, because obviously we're quite happy at TAC for you to upload far more sets and have them in the bag, as it were. So I say you want to transfer all these 15 updates. You can select all 15 by dragging and selecting with the mouse clicker held down, and drag them over here and let go. And you can see the log file up here goes mental again, and if you look at here, this shows you the transfer. Now bear in mind, I'm connecting to my server here over my local area network, so it will go exceedingly fast. If you're on broadband, it will go a lot slower, because obviously it's not as fast as my local area network. But as you can see, you can see that things are transferring nicely, and it's handy just to keep an eye on everything that's being transferred. Down the bottom here where it's got queued files, I'll just talk you through it while it's going. You can see how many files are left queued to transfer. So there's over 800 there at the moment, and how many it has transferred, which is 400. So it's on its way, it's nearly done. And once that's finished, everything will be uploaded to us at this end. Now, as you can see, this log file thing up the top here is going a bit distracting. So it was this one, wasn't it? We click, and there you go, it just gets rid of it. You don't need to know it. But if you do ever want to look for an error, because you might have an error, that's your first place to start. And then you can say, here's what my log file says. But we'll just get rid of it because you don't need it. Okay, so we now only have a mere 120 files left to transfer. It's nearly finished. As you can see, the window on the right, which is the TAC FTP server, is almost identical to the window on the left now, because it's almost finished transferring all my files. Remember, this will be slow over broadband, and badang, there we go, it's finished. So everything's finished and successful transfers. There you go, it shows you, scrolling down here, all these images, tells you what it's transferred, and the queued files become empty. And there we go. Now, remember I said about the TAC content guidelines, you will see I've actually already got a folder there, file there from it. But to transfer from the TAC server to your computer, or any other FTP account, obviously, you do exactly the same. You drag and you drop. Now, obviously, that's going to give me an error because it's saying it already exists. Well, yeah, overwrite it. Doesn't matter. But it's as simple doing both ways. Now, one other thing, just before I leave you with this, and so you can have a fiddle with it, is once I've dealt with your updates, I will move them from the your main queue, which is here, and I'll drag them to the process folder. So they will disappear from this queue, and if you simply go in the process folder, you can see that I've done them. And that is all there is to FTP. It's as simple as that.